Welcome to LSAPC Creates. We are doing a Bob Ross inspired painting today. I hope you enjoyed it. These first couple minutes while I get the clouds put in and the sky, I accidentally had the wrong mic selected. I will get this fixed quickly, so bear with me. There will be sound here momentarily. So sit back, relax, enjoy. I hope you like the painting. I am rusty. This is the first time I've oil painted in years and years. But I thoroughly enjoy doing it, so I hope you enjoy watching. All right, stay tuned. Okay, so I just got through that first through painting the sky, putting the sky in there, and realized my audio was not recording. So I apologize for that. I will dub in. Hopefully I dubbed in over the first part of that. But we're going to go ahead and move forward and start going on with the rest of what we've got painting. So I am just going to go slightly over this again, real gently. Just blend those back into the back a little bit more. We're going to do some mountains and things, so it'll all blend in anyway. But while I've got that blue color, while I was doing that, I remembered that I want to go ahead and put some water in the bottom here. So let's go ahead and we're just going to start from the bottom. We're just going to bring it across. So this will be our water. You get a little more paint on the brush. We'll come in from this side. And there we go. We've got the beginnings of some water. All right. Sometimes I like to leave a little line right here in the middle. That way, you know, it's going to look like the sun's reflecting in. So if that's going this way, you're going to want to keep an eye. You're going to want to be mindful that the sun's going to be from this direction. So your shadows and your highlights are all going to want to go in that same direction. Let me go ahead and clean this off one more time. So we got that set up. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to clean this fan brush. We'll just set it over here. And then we are going to take some of these darker colors. So we're going to take some of the blues, phthalo and Prussian blue. We've got a little bit of the brown. We'll add some of that. We're just making a dark color. We even have a little bit of black that'll just kind of make it all black, really. So we'll just mix some of that together here real quick right here on the palette. That's all I'm doing is just mixing it together on the palette. We're going to use this color as our background color for the mountains. So we'll get this going here. All right, so Bob would tell you, pull it out, straight line just like that, cut across, get a little bead on your knife. I'm actually going to go ahead and clean the knife before I do that. So let's get that cleaned off. That way it'll just show up a little bit better, but you just want to pull the paint down and then cut across, and you're just going to get a little bead of color. So you got to decide right here, where is your mountain going to start? I'm going to start mine right here. Maybe you got something that comes down like that. Maybe this one goes up a little higher. You're just really going to want to dig it into the canvas here. You're just laying your base color. Okay, so we're going to come down here. Maybe we're going to have another little mountain right there. And maybe another peak right here that goes off the... We'll clean that up. Okay, so you're just going to take this, you're going to drag that paint down, really work it into the canvas. All right. Okay, so that being done, we'll go ahead and clean that brush off, or that knife off again. We're just going to take this 2-inch brush here that is completely dry, and we are just going to start right here, and we're going to pull that paint down, just like that. So we're just going to take this, we're going to pull it down. We'll clean up all the edges, don't worry. Clean that up. We're just going to pull that paint. That's what that liquid white allows us to do. So we're just going to pull it just like that. And then we'll just go across. All right, so there is the beginning of our mountains. I will brush this one off, clean this one off. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go and put some highlight colors on these mountains. So you see what we're working with here. We are just going to go with we're going to use the knife, the palette knife, and we are going to go with just the white here. And all we're going to do is just cut out, maybe we'll even take a little tiny bit of that blue and just mix it in here on the palette. Just a tiny bit, because your shadow color is going to be blue most likely. So we'll just take a little bit of that blue, and then we'll just take a little ribbon of paint here, and we're just going to start right here and just lightly touching it. You're just going to, okay, so here we're just going to push that mountain back into the background. All right. Oops. Now, if you get to a point where you feel like you've messed up, you can just scrape that paint off, right? It's just going to go back into the background and define where your mountain's going to be. So just take that off. Go back in with your brush. Like that brush, let's use this one, and we're just going to bring that one right down here just like that. Okay, now okay, let's get this paint moved over here. Let's get a little bit more of that. And let's go back in and try this one again. Now, so all we're doing is we're just barely pushing. We're just barely pushing. I'm not very good at mountains, but just can't get that paint to break the way I want it to, so that's all. Okay. Now this is going to kind of give you some ideas of where your mountains are going to be, where your shadows are going to be, which direction they're flowing, all of those things. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep working on this one right here. I'm going to add a little bit more white. All right, there we go. Now we're going to take some of that white that we had the blue in. We're actually going to darken it up just a smidge more. Let's get some of that in there. A little bit more. So we get this darker blue. And that's going to be our shadow color. All right. So we're going to go in just like this, little roll of paint. That's a little much there. Just get a little roll of paint. We're just going to go right here. I need to make that a little darker. Just a wee bit darker. Okay, now we got our paint. That's going to give us our shadow colors. I'm going to go back down here, darken that up a little bit. Clean that up in a second. All right, so we get a little more here, and we'll come in and put our shadow highlight colors on here. A little bit right here. Maybe it comes down. And then, of course, this one here is all shadow color, so we will just fill it in like so. Okay, let's get the palette cleaned up here. That over there. Okay. All right, clean off the knife here, and we'll get rolling into the next step. So we got our shadows, we got our highlights. Let's say I want to kind of tweak this a little bit here, and maybe we'll come down and reform the mountain. You, as Bob would say, you can literally move mountains just with the swipe of a knife. Just with the swipe of a knife. Okay, all right, that's enough. I'll just mess with them all day. They're not perfect, they're not great. They're gonna do just fine. So now we're gonna take this 2-inch brush and I got thumbprints on here because this canvas doesn't sit in here very well. All right, so all we're gonna do here is we're just gonna tap in. We're just gonna tap lightly this bottom area, just the corner of the brush here. We're just going to tap it in, and then very lightly we're going to just kind of brush up with the direction of the mountains. Watch your angles, make sure you get your angles, but there it is. We're just going to create kind of a little bit of mist down there at the bottom, and then we're going to go in with some trees and some things anyway. So all right, let's get that done. Clean this off. All right, so everything further away is going to be darker. As it comes forward, it's going to get, or it's going to be lighter. Excuse me. Everything in the back is going to be lighter. Everything that's coming forward is going to get darker as you go. So we're going to go ahead and take some of this darker color that we had from earlier. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of green to it. Not much, but a little bit. Add a little bit more. All right, so we got a little green in that as well. And then what we're going to do here is really load that fan brush up with paint. You'll want quite a bit of paint. And all you're going to do, we got the fan brush loaded up here. All we're going to do is come in and start making some indications of some distant trees. Some are going to be taller, some are going to be shorter. But these are all back in the distance. A little bit more color on here. Okay. A few indications of some darker ones here that maybe are a little bit closer to us. Okay, okay. And then we're just going to take our, 2-inch brush. Let's get rid of this liquid white here. And we are just going to settle that in. And if we decide to leave any of that, that's going to be our shadow on the water, but I plan on going over that with other things. So no need to do anything there yet. To fix that, I'm going to go in with a little bit more brown. Let's get a little bit more green. All right, let's get that green in there. And we'll load the fan brush up again, and we'll just go in and do some trees that are slightly closer. Or maybe we'll put a we're going to put a little shoreline in here, but what I think I'll do is just put maybe a hidden little water feature right here. All right, so let's go. Bristle coming off of the brush, making it a little bit messy. All right, let's switch over, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that palette knife, and we're going to add in the rest of our brown. We're going to just kind of create a little shoreline. Not sure what's going on here, so let's take care of that. All right. Primarily, I want it over here. We're going to do some rocks and things. So we're going to tap in some color here in just a second. But right now all I'm doing is just kind of defining a into this tree line and seeing where I want to go from there. So it's almost like I'm painting another mountain. But don't worry, it's all going to come together. Okay, so with 2-inch brush, we're going to take some of this dark color. We're just going to load it in right on the corner of the brush, and then we're going to give the indication of a happy little tree right here. A little bushy area. Okay, now here on this side, we're going to take a little bit more of it. We'll do the same thing. I'm going to tap in a little bit of color. Maybe we'll put a tree on this side as well. All right, that's going to be kind of in the foreground there. We're just going to tap the base of this. Just going to figure out what we want to do from there. So let me tap this in a little bit better because it'll be all right. But okay, all right. We're just going for a dark color again. It's going to be the background to the, always put in the background, and then you can load your highlights in from there. So we'll go put that there, and then we're going to load this fan brush up. Start making some happy little trees. Okay. All right, so here we go. This one is going to come in right here. Once once we put the highlights on it, you'll be able to see much better. And we'll do that here just momentarily. I'm going to go all the way up, kind of catch you all the way up off the screen here. So, okay, let's get a different fan brush. And we're going to take some of this sap green and this bright green. We're going to mix those two together, come up with some highlight colors. Oops, I'm making a mess. All right, let's do that. You load that paintbrush full again, and then we're going to come in here and just make some highlights. Again, we will get it layer by layer, adding in your highlights. Next, I'm just going to go with some straight of that bright green, again with lots. You definitely want to leave that black in their background there as well. You want to get layers in your trees so it looks like you got some depth to the painting. Whoa, there we go. Okay. I'd say that as I put some crazy highlights on that. Okay. All right. Okay. Load it full of color. Full of color. All right. Full of color, I say. Okay, we got that. We got fan brush over here. This cleaned up. We'll take the darker of the green and just go in and put in some highlights. All we're doing here is just putting in a few highlights before we go into the bright green. Now we're going to go straight into the bright green. We're going to put the real highlights in here. All right. Okay. Don't overwork your trees. Don't overthink your trees. Leave some of that shadow color in the background. You're going to want that, but I like to overthink all of my trees. All right, so get that brush cleaned up because we don't need that for a minute. So what we're going to do is, using this 2-inch brush, I'm going to go ahead and fill out the bottom again with more. Let's fill all this in here. We'll have some rocks and some bushes and various other things all coming in here. And we will go for the palette knife. A little bit of brown, a little bit of the white. Just brighten it up just a little bit. See, we're going for kind of this color here, where the brown and the white are going to blend together. We're going to take all this, we're going to take a little bit of the white, we're going to mix it all together. And then when you pull it out like that, you're going to have kind of a marbled effect. So that's what I'm after. That's what we got. So let's get rolling. All right, so here we're just going to have some rocks and just a, I don't know, big stepping, not a stepping stone, but just a rock that lays off here in the distance. Let's put another one here. It's just a stone that lives out there. And we'll put a couple of them. Everybody needs a friend, as Bob would say. I'll put another one here. All right. Okay. And then, like the mountains, all we're going to do now is we're going to go back in with some of this white. And we're just going to layer in some white highlights on those rocks. Just give more of a natural there we go. We just got a little rocky area, that's all. So now we have to decide what we want to do here. So let's go and make some bushes and some greenery. Here all I'm doing is I'm taking a 1-inch brush and I'm just tapping color directly into it. I'm just using the top corner and I'm just really putting a lot of color in there again. And then all I am doing from there is just giving the highlights of a few little bushes. Let me get, do this. We'll get a few, oh, a little messy on that one. All we're going to do is just a few little bushes here and there. You know what, again, you don't want to cover up all of your black. Just some indication of a few bushes here and there. And what we'll do is we'll mix it up a little bit and we'll put some yellows and some different highlight colors. Maybe some reds. So all we're doing here is just putting some highlights in. So next we'll do some yellows. All right. Now if it doesn't show up very well when you're trying to paint, a thin paint sticks to a thick paint. So what you're going to want to do is just put a little bit of, either use a little bit of liquid white or use a little bit of thinner or some oils to thin down your paint, and then you'll be able to just go straight in over the top. But a thin paint will always stick to a thick paint. Come in over here, tap in a few little bushes. Okay, maybe we've got some a little bit darker. Oh. Probably ought to dampen that down a little bit. There you go. But again, you always want to leave a little bit of the dark space in between here. It's just going to be a shadow highlight color. We're just going to mix a lot of these different colors in here. Maybe this one rolls right here. Right up in here. And maybe we even go into some reds. red here. Really, really make it pop a little bit in some areas. Boom. Oh, look at that. Yep. Yep. Okay. 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 Just putting some little bushes here, there, a little bit everywhere. Mixing colors, having fun. Maybe there's one right here. Maybe there's one that lives right up here, comes up on this rock. Maybe there's even some just right here above this rock. Okay. Go back into some of the brighter colors. And let's clean this off. That red really does take over. All right, we'll go back into some of the more brighter colors. Okay. Okay. Just giving a little bit of, okay, I see something here. Looks like there we go. My rock just became one rock, but not the rock. All right, let's get this color going here. Yeah, see, I don't think I got that paint too thin, maybe. I just want to put some things that live right up against that rock. Just right up against that rock. Okay, let's get a little bit more of that. And maybe put a few more in down here. And all right, so let's see. Ooh, okay. All right, all right. Okay, I got to clean the palette up. Everything's running together. That red just hurt everything. Okay, now that we got more of the bright yellow, let's get some of that worked back in. And we'll just mix it right down here. So we're just going to have a little bush right here. I'm going to have another one that just lives right there. Bringing some of those colors together. Okay. Where could we go? A little bit right here. Come on, just that little corner. Okay. We're got all this still to fill in, which to start with, I am going to just smooth out. We'll just make it a Put a little water's edge on there. And then what we're going to do is a little paint thinner on the brush, roll it in this brown. I'm just going to come up here and add a few sticks and twigs. Okay, let's get this mixed in here. A little bit more paint thinner. That. I don't know what I've got on the brush there, but let's clean that off. All I'm doing is dragging and twisting. That way, I'm bringing the where can I put it? Here we go. There we go. That way I'm bringing the brush to a point, and that's all I'm trying to do is just give it a nice fine point. And dragging in some sticks and twigs. So, all right. So now we are going to take again a little bit of that brown, just a little, and we are going to work in just a little line here. Just a little bit of where the shore is. Okay. Clean it up just a little bit. And then we're going to come in and highlight it with a little bit of that white. Okay. All right, we're going to go in with a little liquid white. That is what we started the painting with. That's what gave us all of the fine wetness behind so that we could put in our different areas. And all we're going to do here is just really push in. Let's see if I just can put a little of this on the, all right, so all I'm doing is kind of dipping here, and then I'm just going straight across, just kind of creating a water line. You don't want a lot of paint, but you just want to back and forth, keep the knife straight. And you're just cutting in that water line. You can come down here and cut some more in. Just put little waves and different features, little ripples. Okay. All right. I don't know. I think I got to finish painting. I'm going to go ahead and sign it. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get some of this crazy red color. Make sure we get plenty of... I'm going to really thin it out. And then we're just going to... sign the painting just like that. And there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is the final product. A little bit, you know, I haven't painted like this in probably, gosh, it's been years. So, you know, trial run. It's a good start. I'm happy with it. Definitely happy with it. If you like it, leave me a thumbs up down below in the comments. Let me put this back in here now. And yeah, I mean, there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.